It's Saturday night! Saturday night! Snapdragon fever! Oh, Snapdragon fever! Oh! Hey, garden gals and guys, it's Steph with Tiny's Garden. Welcome back to my garden where I'm gardening in Zone 5B in the Chicago suburbs, and we're still knee-deep in seed starting. And today I'm doing something for the first time, and I'm going to bring you along with me. I am propagating some of my Snapdragons that I started back on February 11th. And they are doing incredible. I started these in soil blocks and I could not be happier so far. This is my first tray that I did, and I need to A, go in and thin a little bit of the weaker seedlings in here, B, propagate them, so I'm gonna cut them and then use rooting hormone for the cuttings and put them into new cells to try and grow more to multiply my stock. So I got this idea from Danielle from North Lawn Flower Farm. Check her out. She has some great information on all things cut flowers. She's on YouTube. But I thought I would try it because these are definitely at the stage where they need to be pinched. And so instead of just tossing those pinching stems, I'm going to use rooting hormone, dip them in there, and then continue to grow them here. So a couple things I want to tell you first. In Florette's Cut Flower Garden book, highly recommend, great book, she says when you've got about 5 sets of leaves on your Snapdragons that you want to pinch them back to leaving just 3 true leaves. So what this means, if you can see this one here, all the way down at the bottom, we have these, the first leaves, which are called your cotyledons. That is not a true leaf. Our first true leaf starts above that here. So this is one set here, second set of true leaves, third set of true leaves, fourth set. So that's good enough for me. I'm gonna come in and cut right there. Even this smaller one right here, there's my cotyledons. First set of true leaves, second, third. So I'm gonna snip that little section off right there at the top. And really, it doesn't have to be super exact, so don't stress yourself out too much. But the whole point is you're coming in to create more branching on these stems. So what'll happen when I come in and I pinch just above that third set of leaves, then I will start to get 2 little new stems starting to grow at that cut point. So instead of having one stem with one branch of flowers, I'm now creating more stems and thus more flowers, more blooms. So the first thing I'm gonna do is take my little shears here and come in and just thin out any little weak seedlings. Like this one here is tiny and pretty weak compared to the other ones. That's not gonna do much. So I'm just gonna come in and simply cut it off and thin that one out. So thinning is just that process of coming in and removing any of those extra seedlings in a cell that are pretty weak and aren't going to do much, so that that big strong seedling in the cell can get all the nutrients and water to thrive. So now I'm actually ready to come in and do my pinching or cutting, and then take that cutting, remove a couple leaves on it, and dip it in the rooting hormone. I'll show you this one more time. There's different ones you can use, but really any of them should work. And then I've got my cell tray that has already been packed full of moist seed starting mix. I'm using the Pro Mix. And now I'm gonna go through and poke about a pencil chopstick size hole in the middle of each one so that my cutting can sit right down in there after I dip it in the rooting hormone. Now let me preface again, this is my first time doing this, so I'm experimenting here. We'll see if it works for me or if it doesn't work so well, but I hope it works because I'd love to multiply my stock. So here we go. Now I'm not gonna pinch every single one of these. I'm gonna pinch probably about half of them, and definitely the taller ones I'm going to pinch back. But when you're pinching, you are delaying the bloom time a little bit, which is okay, but that's why I'm doing half, because I will still have some that will bloom sooner than the others that are pinched. So this is just a powder. I'm gonna dump just a little, oh my, there we go. And that's okay. And it did say on the directions of the rooting powder to make sure that the plant is well watered before taking your cutting. So I did water these a couple hours ago just to make sure that they're really nice and hydrated. This one's pretty leggy, so I'm going to cut pretty far down. There. I've got this left. So what I'm going to do is take off these two leaves here. And she does this just slightly different in her video. I'll link her video below. You'll see hers are shorter than mine, but she does take off some of the leaves so it's less to hydrate. So I'm gonna do the same thing. And then because mine are taller, I'm actually gonna take the stem and cut it right there. So I've got about this much left over, and put it into my rooting hormone so all sides are covered. And then put it down in here and pinch that. And fingers crossed. Comment below and let me know if you have any suggestions for my process on this. I'm gonna get after it. And then I'll be able to tell from this experience which ones really thrive with this, if I shouldn't even bother cutting the smaller ones, if the bigger ones do really well, if I need to cut more leaves off, things like that. I'll be able to learn through this hands-on experience as well. I definitely recommend using a nice pair of sharp pruners because it's pretty tedious getting in there in these little spaces. And these are working really well. They're nice and new. These are the ARS shears. I'll link it below, but they're working really well. Now you could definitely label, because I do have this labeled, so you could label what each one of these are on this new cell tray, but I'm not gonna take my time to do that. It'll just be a hodgepodge of snapdragons up in here. And then let me bring you a little closer so you can have a closer look at what I'm doing. So here's a good look at this one right here. I've got my cotyledons down here. 1, 2, 3 sets of true leaves. So I'm gonna come in and pinch right above that third set. And then with this, I'm going to take these off, less to hydrate. And I've been leaving these on some of them, but if I can get in there, I think I'm gonna take this little set here. I'm just gonna leave it. It's a tight pinch. I don't wanna pinch the top off. Then we'll dip in the rooting hormone, get all around it. And come in here. Whoops. Sit that in there and then just kind of pinch the soil right around the base of it. Here's another one. Cotyledons are right here. 1, 2, 3 sets of true leaves. Come in, pinch above there. Now, come in and cut off those extra 2 leaves down below. Rooting hormone. Dip, dip, dip. Move it around. Let it go down into the hole. And gently tuck in. Some I am doing like above the second set of true leaves. Those will be fine. It's just roughly where you want is around 3 sets of true leaves. At least that's my understanding. So this one's a longer one, and I've done a couple longer ones just so I can see how they do versus shorter ones, etc. Remember, experimental video here, experimental. But I really like the idea of these taking off. Here's a beautiful one here. Cotyledon, 1, 2, 3 sets of true leaves. Pinch. Take off, take off. Dip in the rooting hormone. Sit down in here and pinch the soil around it. So I'm just gonna keep getting after it here, and then I'll come back and meet you at the end. But did I mention this is my Saturday night event? I actually love it. I don't mind it at all. I'll take this for a Saturday night. Now's a great time to mention, if you've been enjoying my content but haven't yet, please subscribe to my channel to follow along with all things garden. Also, please hit that like button. It really helps out my channel, especially if you like propagating snapdragons on a Saturday night. Saturday night, snapdragons on Saturday night. You really are marvelous, darling, just marvelous. Oh, honey, you've been getting squished. Let's give you new life. New life, my dear. See what I mean? See what I mean? Some of these that weren't thinned earlier just get shaded and aren't as healthy of seedlings. So it does feel good to come in and potentially give them new life. And if you're wondering, I started these in Vermont Compost Company's Fort V potting mix. They've done excellent the whole time they've been alive. I've fertilized maybe 3 times since February 11th. I try and do it once a week, but I started a little later fertilizing these. So that's it, and they've just been really fantastic. Slight discoloration here and there, but not bad at all, and that got better when I was more regular with fertilizing the past few weeks. A lot of these are Johnny's seeds. I think almost all of them actually. And variety-wise, if you're curious, I have Potomac orange. Oh yeah, this is my tray of all Potomacs. Potomac yellow, apple blossom, Potomac red, Potomac lavender, and more Potomac apple blossom. Then in my next tray, I did some other ones that are not Potomac. I'll show you those in a second. They're not quite ready to do this yet. What do we have in here? You can tell some of the inside ones have been shaded a little bit, so they're a little bit leggier than the ones that are real tall out here. Trying to reach for that light because they've been shaded a little bit, but still really healthy looking. This will be good especially for those type of ones that are on the inside, because when you're pinching, it's gonna give you a healthier plant too, because that stalk will become more sturdy with 2 stems coming out of it. So this is good. This is good for you down there. Also, spoiler alert, my compost and topsoil mix came today to fill up the raised beds. Oh yeah. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Mama's gonna be moving dirt tomorrow. I'll have a video on the details of that, but I'm so ready because that means I can move those ranunculus and anemones out there. Iceland poppies are ready to be planted. I think I'm even gonna throw some sweet peas into the ground. It is time to get dirty. So ready for it. I'm here for it. Are you here for it? We're here for it. My baby's sleeping. I should tone it down. When we get to this time of year, aren't you just ready? You're just ready for it. It is April now. It's officially April 1st. Oh, I should have pulled an April Fool's joke on you. Too late now. 5 to go, 5 to go. I guess I could have gone through and really focused on the ones that I want extra of, like apple blossom. Well, wish I would have thought of that before. That's okay though, that's okay. I'm gonna take some more apple blossom right here. Take the ones you really want more of. Last one. So I am all filled up here. We've got 36, I believe, in this tray. And I may come back and do some more because I do like the idea, the more I think about it, of some of these little weaker looking ones, getting them in here and giving them a new jump start instead of thinning them out. Because some of them have enough growth that I just really don't want to thin them. But this would be a nice solution to still be able to use them, except give them a healthier life. So we'll see if I do more. Let's see how these do first. I'm just gonna come in and water them in a little bit. My sprayer's not working. Come on. Aim, fire. There we go. So here we are, all watered in here, and now these will go under the grow lights. And here is this tray that we just pinched. They look good, little less height. Some are still taller and that's okay, but you can see it's about 50-50 with some that are cut and some that are still one branch. Like I said, I can always come in and do this more if I feel like I want more of these propagated and that this takes off. This is my next tray, and it is smaller but still looking really great growth-wise. This one had just a slight germination problem down here, but overall we're looking good. These were sown on, let me find the dates, February 27th. And this is what they're looking like at this point. So there's a couple I could maybe do on this tray if I really wanted to, but I'm just gonna give them some more time before I come in and pinch these. So now these Snapdragons will be moved out into the greenhouse as soon as I have space, and that's gonna be this week, fingers crossed. And I'm not gonna harden them off that much before I put them in the greenhouse, probably a little bit, taking them outside for 4 to 5 hours each day before they make their greenhouse getaway. But I've got to get the ranunculus and anemones in the ground, Iceland poppies in the ground, some of the sweet peas is what I'm thinking, and then I'll open so much more room in the greenhouse for things like this that are cold hardy, these Snapdragons included. So that's my game plan. Thanks for coming along on this experiment today. As I said, please comment below and let me know any other tips and tricks you have for propagating Snapdragons. I believe you can do this with other plants as well, but this specifically is one that I love, this flower, and so if I can get more of them, especially the varieties that I love, without having to buy more seed, well, that's just a win-win. And it's pretty fun to do, really. Like a little haircut for your babes. Thank you for watching, everyone. We'll see you in the next one. Happy planting. Bye.